The big soccer match. Samantha and David had always been competitive. Born just a year apart, they had grown up challenging each other in everything, from grades to video games. But their fiercest competition was always on the soccer field. Samantha was a swift forward, and David was a rock-solid defender. Every year, their schools met for the annual soccer match, and this year was particularly special. It was their final year in school. Preparation for the match began weeks in advance. Samantha practiced her goal shots daily, refining her technique, while David worked on his speed and tackling skills. Their friends and family knew how much this match meant to them. Both teams were equally matched in terms of talent, so it was going to be an intense game. On the day of the match, the sky was overcast, and there was a slight chill in the air. The soccer field was buzzing with excitement. Stands were filled with eager spectators, each side cheering for their respective teams. Whistles blew, flags waved, and tension built up as the referee signaled the start of the game. From the very beginning, it was evident that this was not just any game. Both teams played with passion, every move calculated and precise. Samantha had a couple of close shots, but David blocked each one skillfully. The first half ended with the scoreboard reading 0-0. During halftime, Samantha and David met at the sidelines. Instead of the expected tension, they hugged. "May the best sibling win," David whispered, and Samantha just nodded with a grin. The second half started with renewed energy. Midway, David's team managed to score a goal. The crowd erupted in cheers. Samantha's determination doubled. With just 10 minutes left on the clock, she saw an opportunity. Dribbling past two defenders, she took a shot from outside the penalty box. The ball soared, dipped, and found the back of the net. It was a spectacular goal. The crowd from her side went wild. The final whistle blew with the scoreboard reading 1-1. Neither team had won, but neither had lost either. Samantha and David met again on the field, this time with smiles and mutual respect. The match was a draw, but their bond had strengthened. Walking off the field, arm in arm, they realized that sometimes, it isn't about winning or losing. It's about playing the game with heart and cherishing the memories made along the way. The new kid in class. It wasn't a regular Monday morning. There was an unfamiliar buzz in the air, a mixture of curiosity and anticipation. Mrs. Jensen, the English teacher, entered the classroom with a young boy trailing behind her. He had a mop of curly, brown hair, eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a nervous smile playing on his lips. "Class, we have a new student joining us today," Mrs. Jensen announced. The room went silent, all eyes on the newcomer. "Would you like to introduce yourself?" He took a deep breath. "Hi, I'm Leo. I moved here from Spain last week." Whispers spread across the classroom. Everyone was intrigued. Spain was thousands of miles away, and not many had met someone from there. Mrs. Jensen assigned Leo a desk next to Ella, a quiet girl known for her love for books and plants. At lunchtime, Leo was surrounded by a bunch of curious students, firing questions at him about Spain, his previous school, and his favorite football team. Ella noticed Leo looked overwhelmed. She approached him. "Hey, would you like to join me and my friends at our table? It might be a little quieter." Grateful, Leo nodded, and they walked over to a corner of the lunchroom. Ella introduced Leo to her friends, and soon they were all chatting away. Leo shared stories about his hometown, the festivals they celebrated, and the delicious food his grandmother made. Days turned into weeks. While Leo was different in many ways, he sometimes mixed up English words or brought exotic lunches that no one had seen before. He also had much in common with his classmates. He loved video games, played the guitar, and was a huge fan of mystery novels. One day, Leo had an idea. "How about we start a little culture club? Once a week, someone can share something unique about their heritage or a hobby they're passionate about." Everyone loved the idea. They learned about Diwali from Aman, tried Korean snacks thanks to Ji-ho, and listened to Italian opera presented by Sofia. With time, the students realized that, while they came from different backgrounds, they shared more similarities than differences. Leo, once the new kid, had not only found his place but had also brought everyone closer together. And as for Ella and Leo, their friendship only grew stronger. Bonded over shared books, music, and countless lunchtime conversations, the two were inseparable, proving that sometimes the most unexpected friendships are the ones that last the longest. Saturday's treasure hunt. It all began with a mysterious letter, delicately placed on the doorstep of each house in Maple Street. The neighborhood kids were abuzz with excitement. The letters were invitations to participate in a grand treasure hunt. No one knew who organized it, but the promise of a grand prize was too tempting to resist. Lucas, a spirited 14-year-old, teamed up with his best friend Mia. They had been inseparable since kindergarten and had faced many adventures together. Both of them loved riddles, which was fortunate, because the first clue was a challenging one, where you find stories tall inside but not a mall. After pondering for a moment, Mia's eyes lit up. "It's the library. Stories as in books." They raced to the town library. Upon their arrival, the librarian handed them a sealed envelope, clearly expecting them. Inside, they found a small compass and another riddle. "North you go, not far, not near, to the place children play, without any fear." This clue was easier. Lucas pointed north, the playground. Reaching the playground, they found a marking on the slide. Digging beneath it, they uncovered a small box. Inside was a magnifying glass and yet another clue. "To find the next prize, you must be wise. Look where fire and water might meet, but do not fear, there's no heat." Mia thought aloud. Fire and water? Maybe it means the old lighthouse by the river. The duo dashed to the lighthouse, and sure enough, beneath the lantern room, they found another small box. This time it contained an old key with an attached note. "Your journey nears its end, my friend. Go where music fills the air, your final prize awaits you there." Without hesitation, Lucas exclaimed, "The music school downtown." At the school, They followed the soft melodies until they reached the auditorium. On the stage was a chest. Using the key, they opened it, and inside, they found various toys, books, and a note. The real treasure is not in gold or jewels, but in the journey and memories made. Share these with others and cherish today. Lucas and Mia looked at each other and laughed. The adventure had indeed been thrilling, and the memories of that day would stay with them forever. They decided to distribute the toys and books among the younger kids in the neighborhood, making the day memorable for everyone. That evening, as the sun set, the friends sat on Lucas's porch, reminiscing about the day. They didn't know who had organized the hunt, but they were grateful for an unforgettable Saturday adventure. A visit to Grandma's village. Sunlight pierced through the curtains as the sound of roosters crowing echoed in the distance. Ella and her younger brother, Leo, slowly awoke to the unfamiliar but refreshing environment. They were no longer in the bustling city. This was a different kind of morning. Today, they woke up in their grandmother's old wooden house, located in a serene village tucked away between green hills and dense forests. Their first morning was greeted with the aroma of freshly baked bread and wild berry jam. As they made their way to the dining area, their grandmother, with her silver hair neatly tied up, was humming a tune and setting the table. "Good morning, little ones," she greeted, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "Ready for an adventure?" After a hearty breakfast, their grandmother handed them a small basket. "I need some ingredients for tonight's dinner. Think you can help?" she asked, her voice playful. Ella and Leo nodded eagerly. They were handed a list: wild mushrooms, blueberries, fresh mint, and honey. Armed with their basket and list, the siblings ventured into the forest. Birds chirped melodiously, guiding them deeper. First on their list were wild mushrooms. After searching for a while, Leo spotted a patch near an old oak tree. Carefully picking the safe ones, they placed them in their basket. Next were the blueberries. Ella remembered a clearing filled with berry bushes from her previous visits. After a short walk, they found it. The sun shone brightly upon the clearing, turning it golden. They picked the juiciest-looking berries, laughing and occasionally engaging in a small berry fight. For mint, they headed towards the stream, where the cool water nourished the surrounding flora. As the water gushed and babbled, they found a rich patch of fresh mint leaves, their sharp and pleasant aroma rising with the morning dew. Lastly, they needed honey. But how would they get it without getting stung? Just then, a friendly village local named Mr. Dawson appeared, carrying his equipment. He was known for beekeeping. Recognizing the children, he greeted, "Ah, Grandma sent you. Did she? Come. I'll show you how to get honey." With Mr. Dawson's help, they managed to collect a jar of golden, thick honey, without a single bee sting. As the day ended and they returned to their grandmother's house, they felt a sense of accomplishment. They had gathered all the ingredients, met a friend, and explored the beautiful outdoors. At dinner, as they enjoyed a meal made with the ingredients they had collected, they shared their days' adventures with their grandmother, who listened with a proud smile. That night, as Ella and Leo drifted into sleep, the ambient sounds of the village played a gentle lullaby. They realized that beyond the skyscrapers and city lights, there was a world full of simple wonders waiting to be explored.